Welcome everyone. The case study GHF Limited. Right. This case study mainly we are talking with the how to improve the productivity of the business organization. And from this case study, we are going to mainly understand about the labor productivity and the capital productivity concepts. The GHF Limited was established in 1999 and manufactures air conditioning units to begin with. The business began by selling design services to architects and developers planning noise reduction systems. It also supplied and installed finished systems. The manufacturing of units, however, was outsourced in 2009. Although the company was profitable, it opened a new factory to make silent fan units and steel ducts. The main reason for this was to reduce reliance on subcontractors and switch from job production to batch production. This would help to raise profit margins by moving from costly one-off special project work to reproducible standard products. Mr. Patel, the production manager, had identified the special one-off projects. They often involve research, design, and installation cost that did not carry over into another project. This is because one-off projects, so that the project research and development cost, you can actually, the research, design, installation cost did not carry over into another project because it's a one-off project. Separate, separate location, separate customer, so that the installation plans, design plan, you cannot use for another project. So there is a kind of a loss in this case. For example, one job for a large cloth retailer involved lots of design work. In addition, some of the key parts of the system had to be outsourced to another business. The job was a one-off with a little that could be reused for the next job, right? So that's the main thing. Sometimes productivity is very lost because of the one-off cost, like job production. Moreover, they mentioned between 2009 and 2012, GHF Limited reduced the amount of special projects work from 80% to 10%. Right? There's a huge reduction of that orders. 80% to 10%, they decided to reduce the special works. Producing standard systems in the batches fill the gap. This approach allowed GHF Limited to cut cost and become more competitive. However, the switch from job production to batch production required a significant amount of investment as the business began to use more capital-intensive methods of production. GHF Limited had to borrow £900,000 because of this conversion of the production process from job production to batch production. Before the change, M. Patel had noticed that production was inefficient. For example, workers sometimes moved from one job to another, right? If there was a delay in the supply of a component, for example, right? We had to labor flexibility very low because that was inefficiency. Workers sometimes moved from one job to another. This slowed down the production as employees had to make adjustment to their pattern of work. This is called job rotation sometimes. So you had to adjust in their pattern of work. Catch up with what others had been doing. Rethink what they were doing, and often switch tools and equipment. One batch production was adapted with the introduction of a small production line. Efficiency improved. Right? As a result, whatever one batch production was adapted with the introduction of a small production line, efficiency improved. It took a while for a factory to adjust these changes in working practices. But even in the first year, the company made a small profit. This was largely down to an order for 85 standard silent fans in the next year. GHF Limited started producing batches of ducts using their new production system. The system so flexible that 60,000 variations were possible. In the future, GHF wants to make further improvement to productivity. It hopes to make further investment in new technology and introduce some non-financial methods of motivation for workforce. The last paragraph, you can see now going to invest in technology, which leads to increase the capital productivity, and non-financial methods of motivation, the workforce, which increase the labor productivity. Right. So it's a very good case study. You can see this air conditioning system installation company GHF Limited. They wanted to increase their methods of production, especially because to increase the productivity of. They get rid of this one-off orders, like for 80% or 10%, they reduce their utilization of the special project. Special projects high cost and low productivity, because the research and development, designing, planning, everything you can use for plant. Okay, this is the case study. From this case study, they're asking different 5 questions. What is meant by the term capital intensive production? What is meant by the term capital intensive production? Second question asking, why was job production inefficient at GHF Limited? Why was job production inefficient at GHF Limited? So this question, you can say outline one reason why GHF Limited is inefficient in their production. Find the reason for that. And third question, why are unit costs are likely to fall when using batch production? Why unit costs likely to fall when using batch production? Sometimes you can reason out like economies of scale, because large quantities being produced and then unit cost will go in down. Fourth question, discuss one possible impact on worker of making further improvement in productivity at GHF. Discuss possible, this question like an analyze question. This question normally, let's say, improve productivity. How can we improve the productivity of the workers? We can use different methods, training and development, motivation, factory layout changes. We can see, we'll see the answers. And last question, assess the benefits to GHF Limited of switching from job to batch production. This is asking, this question would be like a analyze question. Benefits, analyze the benefits of GHF from switching from job production to batch production. Say 2 benefits of job production rather compared with the job production, right? Okay, let's see what are the main the points that we have to answer this question. The answer in this kind of question now. Chapter number 41. The first question they're asking, what it meant by the capital intensive production. You see, capital intensive production methods make more use of machinery relative to labor. Capital intensive production methods make more use of machinery relative to labor. In this case, GHF Limited switched to more capital intensive methods of production by investing heavily in new machinery. So in this case, GHF Limited switched to more capital intensive methods of production by investing heavily in new machinery. So basically, capital intensive means make use of more machinery relative to labor. Whereas labor intensive production means make use of more labor compared to capital, like that. This is not 100%. Sometimes student will confuse this. What is intensive means, like not 100% labor or 100% capital. It's we call majority, like comparatively, like make more use of machinery relative to labor. That is labor also available, like maybe say 10% labor, 90% machine. That we call capital intensive production. Majority of the production you can see in their plants, you can see majority of the resources are machines. Labor intensive is on the other hand, like 90% labor, 10% machine, or 80% machines, 80% labor, 20% machine. That's called labor intensive. So always be careful. Labor intensive means not 100% labor. For capital intensive doesn't mean that 100% they're using capital. Majority, you can see more use of comparative to this one. In this case, capital intensive means more use of capital relative to the labor, right? Okay, second question they're asking, why was job production is inefficient at GHF? Because we talk about that they are using the one-off projects like heavy machine air conditioning installation projects for different companies. A farm is not suitable for a government factory. The government factory one is not suitable for a government office. Government office is not suitable for a power, like an energy, energy power plant. So it's different location, different layouts, different plans you have to draw, and you have to install those machines and everything in different way. So you can see this answer. Job production is where a business produces one product from start to finish before moving to the next. Each item produced is likely to be different. Job production is used when orders are small, such as one-off. It is often an inefficient method of production because it is slow. It is slow. Let's talk about the like a drawback or limitation of the job production because it's inefficient, because it's slow. In this case, now look at the way they apply in this answer. This is like always like a very golden conjunction word we can use in the business studies answers in this case. So when you're marking, we can see that student has used this application properly with this word. That's why I told this a golden conjunction word in this case, right? Because it's a clear evidence is there. We can find that student has used the application or contextual answer is evident. We can see. Mr. Patel is another very effective method of applying the case studies using the person's names, specific names, like here M. Patel had noticed that your production was inefficient. For example, workers sometimes moved from one job to another, right? This would slow down the employee as they had to make adjustments to their pattern of work. Right? In this case, this is the main reason, because if you worker moving into one production to another, they have to adjust to that system, adjust to that environment and pattern of work. For example, they had to catch up with what the others had been doing, and also had to rethink what they were doing and often switch equipments. Like that is the way you have to say why inefficient, because of job production takes some time. And in this case, workers, if you're moving from one job to another location, imagine, so right now, if you work in an apartment project, and after apartment project to another, imagine power plant project, so they have to change their working patterns, the working location, working practices, because that specification, job specification is totally different from that previous job. That's why the job production, sometimes you need specialist labor, specialist, machines, equipment, and it takes some time. Therefore, we can say job production is a inefficient method, but there is no other option for job production. Imagine if you want to do something, it's one particular job, right? So that's the thing. Okay, question number 3, they're asking, why are unit costs likely to fall when using batch production? Why are unit costs likely to fall when using batch production? The simple answer we can see, once batch production was adapted with the introduction of a small production line, efficiency improved. Batch production usually result in lower unit costs. This would be because some of the fixed cost of the production, such as tools, machinery, and equipment, would be spread over more units of output. So in other words, they try to mention the economies of scale, EOS concept, right? EOS definition is there. The fixed cost of the production would spread over more units of output, then this we call total cost or average cost will fall when firms expand their size. So like that, as a result of that, I think you can say purchasing economies of scale, they can enjoy, like managerial economies of scale. So like that, this case they mentioned, once batch production was adopted, like comparative to small production line, efficiency will improve because of this economies of scale concept, right? The 4th question, they're asking to discuss one possible impact on workers making further improvement in productivity at GHF. GHF Ltd has already made improvement to productivity by switching production methods from job to batch and introducing more machinery to make production more capital intensive. However, more improvements are planned for the future. It hopes to make further investment in new technology and introduce some non-financial methods of production. Like this is all mentioned in the last paragraph of the case study, right? What are the plans of them? They want to introduce in new technology, and also they want to motivate their workforce by using non-financial methods of motivation. If non-financial incentives are used, workers' jobs may become more interesting, and this will be a positive impact for the workers. However, some measures might have a negative impact, because always you can see discussion questions like, it can be analyzed question, analyze the impact of this case, right? Some non-fashion, for example, if more new machinery is introduced, some workers might lose their jobs. Negative side. There's always discussion question. You have to write the both side, the positive side as well as negative side of that decision. So they're going to implement some labor productivity improvement methods, such as giving non-financial motivation and using new technology. So as a result of that, there are good productivity improvements are there. Jobs become interesting. However, the machinery replace the labor. So some people might lose their jobs and they become unemployed. So this could have a negative impact on the business, particularly if workers take industrial action, union actions. So there are good side as well as bad side, right? But I don't think any limitations of the non-financial methods of motivation, like giving empowerment, delegation, consultation, flexible working. But they also, you can mention, sometimes some workers are motivated by financial incentive, such as salary increments, bonuses, profit sharing, piece rate, like that. So that's why everyone, all the whole workforce, you cannot satisfy by giving non-financial methods of motivation, because money is sometimes a more important factor for a lot of people. So that's why every point you can see there are good side as well as bad side, especially discussion questions or analyze impact kind of a questions. You can mention the however points also, like evaluation point 9 marker into a 12 markers. You have to write like the 2 positives as well as 2 negatives of the given concept. Okay. So I'm moving into the last question of this case study. Assess the benefits of GHF Limited of switching from job production to batch production. Assess the benefits of GHF of switching from job production to batch production. Right. So in this case, so I'll invite Diven. Can you read the answer?
Yes. Which question again, sir?
Question 5, yes.
Oh, okay. So, assess the benefits to GHF Limited of switching from job to batch production. It is quite common for a business to switch production methods as it grows and larger orders are received. In this case, GHF Limited switched methods to raise profit margins by moving from costly one-off special project work to reproducible standard products. This product manager identified problems with the special one-off projects. They often involve research, design, and installation costs that did not carry over into another project. For example, one job for a large clothes retailer involved lots of design work. In addition, some of the key parts of the system had to be outsourced for another business. The job was a one-off with no benefits for the next job. Batch production is generally more efficient. Unit costs are likely to be lower because output is higher. Workers can be more specialized and more use is made of machinery. Production is also flexible because orders with different measurements, styles, or specifications can be met. For example, in this case, GHF Limited started producing batches of ducks using their new production system. A system so flexible that 60,000 variations are possible. As a result of the switch, GHF Limited became more competitive. Between 2009 and 2012, GHF Limited reduced the amount of special project work from 80% to 10%. Producing standard systems in batches filled the gap. It took a while for the factory to adjust to these changes in working practices, but even in the first year, the company made a small profit. This was largely down to the order for 85 standard silent. However, the switch from job to batch production required a significant amount of investment as the business began to use more capital-intensive methods of production. GHF Limited had to borrow pounds 900,000. This may have put a financial strain on the business as it needed to pay interest on the debt. However, there is no information in this case study that suggests there were any serious financial problems. To conclude, it seems that the switch in production from job to batch was a successful strategy for GHF Limited. Costs are down and profit margins should be up. Further improvements to productivity are planned in the future so that the business owners must be pleased with the outcome.
Very good. So in this answer, you can see it's an assess question, like can say evaluate question. I can take it like a 12-mark question because all the elements of the answers we can see the conclusion paragraph at the end, right? And then you can see the however paragraph, like two disadvantages of this conversion. To disadvantage of conversion from job to batch, you can see like a requirement of significant amount of investment, right? It's costly. That's why, because always when you are growing like a now large organization setup, so it's costly because more capital intensive methods, like you have to borrow 900,000 pounds, a significant amount of finance, right? And then they have to pay the interest for that long time. So, and also there is no information in the case study suggests that there were serious financial problems. That's why they suggested that. So if you have a certain, not certain about this kind of a, like a case type example case study, if you can't find any evidence, you can say like that. However, there is no information in the case study to suggest that there was a serious financial problem. You can comment on that because 900,000 pound borrowings mean, you have to pay a huge amount of interest also. But later on, you can at some point like there is no evidence in the case study to suggest that they are facing serious financial problem, right? Moreover, we can see like the as a result, this case study, they have given benefits as well as drawbacks. You can see this, the other paragraph, batch production generally more efficient, cost is likely to be lower, and as a development as a result, all these things you can see 5 strands sometimes have 5 sentences, they sometimes they have used, right? But in your level, sometimes we're expecting 3-strand answers like BLT models, bacon, lettuce, tomato. You can see like because leads to, therefore, like that kind of like a paragraph development. But you can see here, we can see sometimes 5-strand answers, 5-strand development because it's inefficient, right? More efficient situation, and as a result, because this output is higher, right? Workers like to be more specialized and more use of made efficiency. Production is more flexible because the orders are different measurements, styles, specification can be made. This is all application. And they are giving, for example, right, this is adding more application. Like I say, in this case, again, that golden conjunction, and GHF Limited started producing batches of ducts using their new production system like that, because the numbers of the flexible 60,000 variations are possible. 60,000 variations possible. Like that, everything you can see they have used the numbers, 80% to 10% the orders gone down, right? And then this was large down and order, 85% standard silent fan like that. This always possible opportunities use the numbers in application, because always the heart of your answer is the application. If there's no application, the contextualized answer means then you're losing like a huge particular amount of marks from the case study without applying. Yeah, right. The general answer means generic points means all we are always using, some kind of like a limited application situations in your, when you're marking your papers. Always we can see this kind of a weaknesses from a lot of students. So always you can overcome this kind of a thing when you're always writing answers, especially big essay type questions, 6 markers, 9 marker, 12 marker. Use of application is a key to success in the examination, right? Right. So today, actually, I have sent some kind of like we are using some tute number 36. You can see. So I have already sent you today this one. Then the tute number 36. We can discuss some kind of MCQ question first, and then we can see the summary of the answer lessons again. In the chapter, there are 4 MCQs remaining. 4 MCQs. Question number 1. Which of the following is an advantage of job production? Which of the following is an advantage of job production relative to other production methods? A, unit cost will be lower. B, production speed are faster. C, workers may be better motivated. D, fewer resources are needed. D, fewer resources are needed. Is I getting some answers? Yes. Answers are correct. Yes. Even your answer is correct. Answer is C. C is the correct answer for the question number 1. Right. Question number 2. So production speed faster. That's things like allowing advantage of job production related to other production method. You can see that's the only thing. C, workers may be better motivated. because they don't have like a routine works to follow. They have a different jobs to follow. They're motivated, right? Question 2, dental treatment is a product provided using which form of production? Dental treatments. Dental treatment, flow production, batch production, job production, capital intensive production. Yes. Yes. Question number 2 also correct answer is C. C is the correct answer for that one. Job production. Right. Okay. This time also divide correct. Okay. Question number 3. A manufacturer employs 18 machinists in a workshop during a single week. 1,440 pairs of jeans are produced. Therefore, labor productivity per worker for the week was how many pair of jeans? Right? It's a good calculation question. During a single week, right? The output is 1,440 pair of jeans, and labor productivity per worker. So I have how many workers? 18 machinists are there. So I got 2 answers. Yeah, so here this answer, you can see if you divide the 1,440 divided by 18, the answer is 88 is the correct answer. Yes, answer given by, yes, correct. Kiara, right, Divin, everyone correct. 3 students gave the correct answers. Right, answer is A. Last question, which of the following is likely to be made using batch production? In this case, how we do 14440 divided by 18, then we can get the answer 80 pairs. Okay, last question, which of the following product is likely made using batch production? Mobile phones, toilet paper, petrol, clothes. Got 2 answers. Yes, Steven's answer correct. D is the correct answer. Clothes. Clothes is a batch production. Yes, I think, yeah, most of the questions, I think every question was answered by Divine and also Kiara and I, also very good. So, yeah, very good. Excellent. Let's move on to the other questions in the other tutor handout. Productivity and efficiency lesson. In order to summarize the lesson again, efficiency and productivity. We talk about efficiency and productivity components are linked together, and better productivity means increase efficiency. Efficiency means like reduce the cost of the production, result in higher level of competitiveness. So efficiency means making the best possible use of resources. Efficient firms maximize the output from given inputs. So productivity we can calculate like the normally the given time period, the difference between production and productivity. Production is the total amount made by the business in a given time. Productivity measures how much each employee make over a period of time, or employee or machine. It is calculated by dividing the total output by the number of workers. So labor productivity. So it's 1,000 tables, 50 staff, then 20 tables per staff member. The productivity of this. So this one making mention the productivity, and the productivity you can see in this case, you can see production productivity multiplied by the calculate like that. So imagine 1 table, 10 staff members, and 20 tables they can create. So if one, because in the productivity can calculate by total productivity, total output divided by number of workers. Total production. So now in this case, you can see the total tables they created is 20. 20 divided by 10 number of staff, that means 20 divided by 10 is 2 tables, right? So it's the key. So you can see now normally productivity, and you can see staff members and production. Production is one particular unit of output. Productivity means the relationship between input and output, right? And then we talk about to increase staff productivity, you can, it's depending on the skills, quality of machines, and effective management, these 3 things. Productivity can be improved through the education and training, investment in equipment, and also improvement in motivation of workforce, like financial and non-financial method of motivation techniques we discussed, and also relocation also we can use, like factory layout, you can change these things. Other method of cutting costs we talk about, like cost cutting techniques we can analyze, not only the productivity improvement, like we can use like a reducing overhead, relocation, redesigning the product, and the improving management, these techniques. And also we can use them to suggest downsizing or delayering, removing the number of staff members to reduce the cost. Outsourcing, you can use some kind of a particular items to outsource to some other organization to work study, use the work study officers to analyze, and they can get some consultation to reduce the cost. Reducing overheads, and relocation, improving management, redesign the product. And also lean production, as we discussed, like mainly the methods such as just-in-time ordering, Kaizen system, TQM methods to reduce the wastage during the production. Okay, now here also let's go to the, then I gave some MCQ questions. MCQ question number 1, which of the following best describe efficiency? Efficiency. Producing items customers needs, maximizing output, or making the best use of resources. Making the best use of, what is the correct answer? Producing items customer needs, maximizing output, making the best use of resources. Efficiency means, yes, correct answers. Third one is the correct answer. Yes, answer given by Devane. Yes, C is the correct answer. Third one, making the best use of resources. Second one, which of the following is the best describe productivity? Productivity, total output of the business, output per worker, another way of saying unit cost. Yes, correct answers. I can see a lot of students actually down this answering questions. Yes, correct answer is output per worker. Output per worker. Correct. Third one, what does high productivity depend on? High productivity depend on good management, high quality, high cost. High productivity depend on, yes, correct answer is yes, number 1. Correct answer. Good management is the correct answer. Very good. Fourth one, how can productivity be best be improved? Productivity best be improved. Better marketing, new equipment, recruitment. So I think the best way is new equipment. If you buy new equipment, mean new technology mean more productivity. Correct. Fifth one, which of the following does not improve productivity? Does not improve. Delayering, training, diseconomies of scale. Yes, correct answer is C. Correct answer is C, the diseconomies of scale, because it's always increase the average cost. As a result, productivity will go down. Question number 6. If 50 workers produce 800 cars, what is the labor productivity? 50 workers produce 800 cars, what is the labor productivity? So 800 divided by 50. 800 divided by 50 is 16. Correct answer is A. Correct, very good. 5 students give the correct answers, very good. 16 cars, very good. Okay, question number 7. A firm making 800 cars with 50 workers and they sack 10 staff, like mainly removing 10 staff, right? Fire. A firm making 800 cars with 50 workers and sack 10 staff, output is unaffected. What is the productivity now? What is the productivity now? So if you now the labor you reduced by 10, then 40 workers. So 800 divided by 40 means how much? 20 cars. Yes, correct answer is given by student. Let's say this time I say 2 students. Correct. Yes, 20 cars. Now 800 divided by 40. Question number 8. What is lean production? What is the meaning of lean production? This is a separate lesson, but you know what is the general idea? A type of customer service? No. A method of stock control? No. A set of cost cutting technique? Yes. Yes. Correct answer given by a lot of students this time. Yes. 8 question. Question number 8 answer is C. Set of cost cutting technique. We'll see these cost cutting techniques in my next session. Right. Right. So lean production techniques means set of cost cutting techniques. Question number 9. Which of the following will most likely reduce productivity? Which of the following will most likely to reduce productivity? Right? Cost, profit, training. Which of the following most likely will reduce productivity? With reduced productivity, cost will not reduce, profit will reduce, training will can't say. So its answer is 2, 9, 2. Profit will reduce, it reduce productivity. Definitely, profit is linked with the productivity. Okay, last question of the session. You can see which of the
what's the answer for that, sir?
C, it's 9 part B. Profit will reduce with productivity. Question number 10. Which of the following is least likely to be a benefit of cost cutting? Least likely benefit of cost cutting: improved profit margin, improved productivity, improved customer satisfaction. Least likely, not the most likely. Least likely benefit of cost cutting. You can see what? Improved profit margin, improved productivity, improved customer satisfaction. Least likely benefit of cost cutting. You can see number 3. Cost cutting, I don't think customer will satisfied as a result of that, because when the product become cheaper, customer sometimes quality might go down, then customers will dissatisfied. So answer is question number 10, answer is C, improved customer satisfaction. And also in this handout, I have given the case study answers like Uber, activity number 2 answers I have given, and also case study chapter case GHF Limited, which have all the answers I have given here. So what is meant by term capital production? What was job production is inefficient at GHF? Why unit cost likely to fall? Discuss one possible impact of workers making further improvement. And last question, assess the benefit of switching from job production to batch production. So all these things I have given in this answer. So so today, to sum up the lessons, I talk about mainly the chapter review case study, basically the GHF case study. It's a very good case study to understand different, it's a air condition installation company. Finally, they have decided to go to like a not job production to convert into batch production. This kind of questions can be expected in 9-mark question, like mock exams and everything, past papers. We have seen there are 9-mark question. Option 1, job production. Option 2, batch production. Like that. Therefore, you should know how to practice this kind of a question, use the application in the given case study. And also finally, I give some MCQ questions we discuss at the end. So that's the end of this session. In my next session, I'm hoping to we are going to discuss the